Welcome to Let's Get Into It. I am your host, Sherelle Higgins. Let's Get Into It is a safe space to have real conversations that are meant to uplift, encourage, and let you know you are not the only one dealing with life. Each episode of Let's Get Into It is designed to provide illuminating and thought-provoking information on a variety of topics. In fact, no topic is off limit. If you would like to see a topic discussed, please feel free to make a recommendation. My special guest and I will have a great time discussing topics that the mainstream media wouldn't dare discuss. We will bring these conversations to you with an open mind, respectfully, from different perspectives, and most importantly, with love. Thank you for joining me and my special guest. Now, let's get into it. Hello, everyone. I wanted to jump on here as I promised to give you the latest updates and give you my thoughts on those. I wanted to first and foremost let you know, if you haven't heard, that a federal judge has temporarily paused the deadline for employees to respond on whether or not they are going to retire. He paused it until Monday, until which time he can hear the government's case versus the union case, because the unions are suing the government concerning this forced resignation. The union's position is that this deferred resignation program is basically a threat to federal employees, telling them that in order for if they don't take this program, then they are going to lose their jobs. And so they have also asked the judge to render this deferred resignation program as illegal until they can actually provide a justification as to why they are doing this. And so it is going to happen on Monday. I am going to tune in on Monday evening to give you all the latest updates, to break it down, and hopefully give you more information. I'm sure part of the union's ask is that, I know that they asked that OPM also extend the deadline until after they submit a justification as to why this program even exists. And so I'm sure they're going to also ask that employees are given an opportunity, if they responded because of fear or coercion that they are going to resign, that they have the opportunity to rescind that message. And so stay tuned for that. In addition to that, I don't know if you all heard, but the administration has also tried to fire some FBI agents who worked on January 6th. Those agents have two different class action lawsuits against the administration. And so they are going to that's going to work itself through the courts, because you can't just fire federal employees. That's just not how it works. And so the FBI agents have gotten together and they are suing the Department of Justice in a class action lawsuit. So sit tight, don't panic. We have people out here fighting for the rights of federal employees. Even if you are not covered by the bargaining unit, whatever is decided for the bargaining unit will apply to you as well as a non-bargaining unit member. So sit tight and, hold off. On Tuesday, I mentioned that I saw something that said 20,000 employees had taken the offer. Well, today I saw an article that said 40,000 employees had taken the offer. And then I saw one that says 60,000. And so I have no idea how many employees have actually taken the offer. I doubt very seriously if up to 60,000 has taken it. Even I'm thinking, who knows what the real number is? We probably never will know. But again, they're going to keep inflating the number to put pressure on you to join the group. And so I urge you again not to make a rash decision and to make the best decision for you and your family. And if that best decision for you and your family is to hang in there, do that. Just hang in there because we all need employment because that takes care of our families. And so don't allow anybody to push you out when you have rights and there's a certain way that they have to do things. So one of the ways that they have to do things is through a reduction in force. And so right now, OPM is asking all agencies to provide them with performance appraisal data. And so my guess is that they're doing that to try to prepare for a reduction in force. As I have mentioned several times, in a reduction in force, yes, you will get additional years of service credit added to your actual years of service credits based on your performance appraisals from the past 3 years out of 4 years. And so you want to make sure that your agency has your data correctly. And you can double check it by making sure that you review your electronic official personnel file and look and make sure that your performance appraisals are in there. If your performance appraisals are not in there and your agency doesn't take the time to try to upload them, most agencies are using some form of e-performance, and so it's already an electronic system. Then what they will do is just give you a fully successful, what's equivalent to a fully successful rating, which would only give you 12 years. So if you actually got an outstanding for a year that's not uploaded in the system, you will get 12 years added as opposed to 20 years, and that makes a difference. And if they run a reduction in force, keep in mind you may not be the person who actually walks out the door. And so if you are the person who actually walks out the door, you are then going to have some entitlements. And so you don't want to give up those entitlements for the sake of, I'd rather take this deferred resignation program as opposed to losing my job through a reduction in force. So again, if you haven't watched the video on reduction in force, please watch that video on YouTube at Sherelle Higgins 123. It's a whole lot of information there that will help you. I want to make sure that you are well educated because, again, education is the key. And that's not just a slogan. The more you know about what your rights are, the better position you are to make an informed decision. And so, yes, it is scaring people to move too fast. Absolutely. And if it's too good to be true, then it's probably not true. And with the administration promising to pay employees beyond March 14th is a problem because Congress has not appropriated any money to the agencies that's going to be impacted by the March 14th date. And therefore, no money can be obligated beyond where the agency is currently funded. And so if the agencies are obligating monies beyond March 14th, that's a violation of the Anti-Deficiency Act. And basically, the Anti-Deficiency Act says you can't spend money you don't have. So there's no such thing as going into the negative for federal agencies in terms of what their budgets are. And so they can't say we are committed to spending this money beyond March 14th when in fact they don't even have a budget to spend. And so the unions again are challenging this and they are pointing these things out. They are on top of it. The case looks solid. They pointed out all of the flaws and the conflicts and this deferred resignation program. They mentioned that, it's just not clear. It lacks basic information. And when I went over the agreement the other night, If you notice, and if you haven't watched that video, watch that video. But if you notice, it was all mostly about resigning from your job. It was one or two things in there mentioned about retiring from your job. Here's the deal: if you are eligible to retire, you certainly don't need the federal government to tell you. If you are, or to encourage you to leave. When you get ready to leave, you do just what I did: you leave. And so don't think that this deferred retirement program is going to add any value to your ability to be able to retire, because it's not. And so if you are not prepared financially to retire, please don't do so. You do not want to retire to be out here struggling and having to get a second job, another job, because if that's the case, you could have just stayed in the federal sector. And so, if you are, have any other concerns, I am going to be here to share with you my experience, my expertise, and my breakdown of what's happening. My next live, I hope, will be on Monday. Hopefully, nothing will happen over the weekend in which I have to come to you live. But if I, see something that I think you need to know, I will come to you live over the weekend. Hopefully, we can all take the weekend off and take a deep breath, disconnect, and spend time with our families and our friends and all of our loved ones and just enjoy ourselves. And so, if you all don't have any questions for me today, I am going to ask you to join me again today at 6:30. I am going to have a special guest on my podcast. Let's get into it to talk about empowering working women, because that's what we are. We are working women, and we're going to talk about some strategies that we can do to help not only ourselves but help others, because really that's what life is all about, is how we help and support other women, and so, or other people. And we're also going to talk about the roles that the men in our lives can play to also support us during this time. So again, thank you all for joining me for Let's Get Into It Real Quick. I am Sherelle Higgins, your host. I will be back live with you to continue educating you on what happened with the court case, a breakdown of that. And I will be live again today at 6:30 with my special guests. Thank you all. And I hope that the information I'm providing to you all is helpful. Have a great night. Thank you for joining and participating in Let's Get Into It. I want to thank my special guest for being brave enough to get into it. Without you, these conversations cannot happen. Remember, different viewpoints, respect, and love are the foundations of Let's Get Into It. If there's a topic you think I should discuss, drop me a recommendation. If you're interested in being my special guest, let me know, because we can and will get into it. Have a great day on purpose, and I look forward to your continued engagement and support as we get into it.